So great, we're done. We solved the internet problem, it all runs on us, what do we do next? There's a lot more to do. I'm going to talk about 4 major areas that we are investing in. And they all extending our core values. We're about performance. Performance matters a lot on the internet. People do not wait. People even unconsciously get really annoyed by very, very minor wait times. Reliability, if it doesn't work, they don't come back. They try it, if it's broken, they don't try it again. It has to be secure. You've probably heard of examples where sites got hacked, where they got credit cards stolen. Those businesses stopped working because no one would go back. We have a very strong support team, services team that goes and consults with our customers. It has to pay back, customer ROI, and scale. And so with that, the 4 areas we're investing in is continued investment in the cloud, security, mobile, and video. Just to give you a sense of scale, on revenue-wise, the analysts predict that this year will be Akamai's first $1 billion revenue year. So from the beginnings, 98, and really having the service 99. So in 11 years, we went from no revenue to $1 billion in revenue. Cloud. Cloud is a great term, the best marketing invention probably in the last 10 years, because everything is a cloud. iPhone has a cloud, Android has a cloud, anything you're accessing online is a cloud. But if you go narrow in what's called cloud computing, meaning a computing resource is accessed over the internet, so it's not, you don't have it physically, you're not buying a server, so you're accessing over the internet, you're buying it on a per-use, on-demand basis, and it scales on demand. Everyone is convinced that that is a huge business, so great. And it has the same problems that other cloud applications, because at the end, a website is nothing else but a cloud application. It's the same problems, that now you move the server from your desktop back into some data center, and now it has to get through all those problems on the internet that we have 10 years of experience with. And so making cloud applications work, whether you're accessing Salesforce, whether you're accessing Amazon EC2, any of those cloud infrastructures, we're often behind making that actually work. And here's again, I'm down a little bit in the engineering details. You have the first mile connecting the data center to the internet. Then you have the middle mile, what we call the actual internet. And then the last mile getting from the internet to your desktop. And typical speeds on this are that this is very, very fast, just fractions of seconds. Same here. This is where most of the time is spent because these applications are chatty. They request something, they keep going back and forth. So a typical page load might actually be very, very long. And by putting the Akamai system there, we can cut that middle ground way, way down. And that enables a lot of this movement into the cloud. When people talk about desktops in the cloud, when people talk about business applications in the cloud, they often use that because that's the only way to make it really work at a performance that users will accept. We're also going into corporate networks because that's now happening there too, where people get their desktops taken away and they get moved into a data center. So the same technology applies there, and we're working with partners like IBM of using our internet experience now inside corporate networks. And call that hybrid. Security, it's a much even, like the cloud work we're doing in that business is really an extension of our internet business. Security is different because we're worried that if we're not careful, it could jeopardize our business, and we have to help our customers improve the situation. So that's one where we think there's a business opportunity, but there's also such a big problem that if we don't help solve it, it might actually jeopardize the whole industry. Because the short answer on the state of the internet security is that it's very bad. Almost any sort of report, and these are just little quotes, I'm not going to go over them, is that there's lots and lots of fraud, there's lots of money lost, and people are investing a lot of money in security that doesn't necessarily pay back. And they're all doing it individually instead of a shared system, so it's every company has a cost instead of it being a shared cost. And so here are things that we can do to help. If you think of a normal application that's in the cloud, it goes out, it has the problems where the internet sometimes doesn't work. And if you have attackers, people that want you harm, and you do not have Akamai, they can access your data center directly. So you're inviting them right into your home, right at your doorstep. If you layer Akamai in, then everything gets delivered through the Akamai system. Now the bad guys don't even know where your data center is because they're talking to Akamai. And even if they team up and try to take Akamai down, they now need to take down 75,000 servers. And we have had attacks. We have, last year, there was a huge attack on the US government. Hundreds of gigabits of attack traffic that you never heard about because it was all absorbed by the Akamai network. There was one site that was not on Akamai and it was immediately down. And after the attackers couldn't take down the US sites, they moved on to Korea, and they pretty much took down all Korean government sites. And I'm pretty sure that if you read technology news last year around July 4th, that you read about the Korean government sites not being available for days. If you have a lot of attackers go after the Akamai system, they will succeed in taking small parts out. But we can then use and send the real users to other parts of the system, guaranteeing availability and guaranteeing performance. We're now layered in a firewall. Every one of our servers acts as a firewall for your system, so you can stop even more malicious attacks right there. And that's the government attacks that I mentioned. So there's a total of over 170 gigabits per second on last July 4th, but I need to go a little faster. And so now helping with that, avoiding these type of DOS attacks, because one of the fraud businesses, when people talk about millions and millions, even billions of online fraud, one business model of the attackers is the following. They contact a small web store and say, I'm going to take you down unless you send me $10,000 onto this account in some obscure location. And you have the very simple choice. It's an old business model. Italy is very familiar with it. You send the 10,000 or someone will take you down. And that is right now a very, very large industry online. And this can't stop it. You can decide to buy Akamai Defense to not allow someone to just take your site down with a botnet. There's many other security features. They're all at the same level, so I would bore you with the technical details. But making the internet a more secure place to transact business, it's a huge business opportunity that we're going after. Mobile. Everyone now carries one of these. It's either an iPhone or an Android device. And I don't think I need those stats either to convince you that mobile is a big business and that people use their phone for a lot of things. And if you put yourself in the shoes of a store owner, of a media owner, and you want to use the internet as a business, then things are really complicated. So this is NBA basketball in the US and their site. Looks great if you call it up on a PC. If you look at the same site on the iPhone, it looks like this. You can't really see anything. It's the screen is just way too small. And you say, oh, you're showing this wrong. It actually gets scaled down. Yeah, it does. So here's an Android device from Samsung. It can be scaled down, but then you can't read anything. So in either case, it's a very, very unhappy experience for the end user. So what people do is they set up special sites. Rakuten talked about that as well. They have a special site for mobile users, and now you actually operate two different environments. Probably you've heard of the dispute between Apple and Adobe over the format to send media to the iDevices, to the iPhone, to the iPad. So if you want to go there, you actually need another format called H.264. And again, you need a couple of different encodings because the iPad is so much more powerful than the iPhone, so you're up to 4. If you're a media company, you also want to reach connected TVs now. You know, PlayStation from Sony allows you to actually see online video right on your nice big screen TV. Needs another format. So what we're doing is take all that complexity and move it into our network. We'll actually make that available dynamically. And as a content owner, you're back to just one site. And so here's an example where I have a customer that we automatically transcode the normal site into a mobile site. They just tell us the business logic, say, take the navigation from here, take the flow from here, and lay it out differently. Now they're back to just having one site. We'll do the same thing with the media content. And as there are future devices, now it's just about telling the network what the next device is, because you don't know if it might be the new cool Galaxy tablet that Samsung is coming out with, and it's yet again slightly different. And so by moving that complexity into the network, that's one of our most asked features from our customers. Fourth area that we're investing very heavily is online video. There's already so much video available on the internet, but our belief is that it's going to be a lot more very quickly. And 40% of all commercial internet traffic already is video, and it's going to get a lot more. And you can ask Cisco, you can ask networks, you ask AT&T, NTT, KDDI, they all are worried about what's coming with video. And let me tell you what they're worried about.